Hey Jack, so let's get started. So I just want to do the obligatory, this is modded run, damage numbers, and health values are not accurate at all. I also decided to do the commentary in post because I realized during the Moog thing I was kind of dropping a lot of thoughts in favor of focusing on dodging the combo. So I'm doing this just to better communicate ideas. Like I was texting, though, generally, as long as it's a slow, heavy-hitting weapon, you will do fine. Blood Fiend is definitely the best for this, but as long as it's slow, but not too slow, it'll work just fine. That's pretty much all the preamble, so let's just get right into it. So, when Phase 2 happens, it is largely the same moveset with the addition of two new mechanics, sort of. You have the beams of light splashing down, and then the clone drone danger zone attack. The good thing about those is that it's always the same. Like, no matter how chaotic it feels, the placement of the beams and the number of clones that show up is always going to be the same. So as long as you can recognize which attack he is doing, you can use your knowledge that you've learned ahead of time to react accordingly. And sometimes that's really hard to do because of the pure visual clutter and the fact that if you're facing him from behind in Phase 2, it's just this wall of hair that makes it very hard to read his movements. So what I do recommend is spend some time in Phase 1 just surviving as long as you can and just learn Phase 1, because again, there's only 2 new attacks, like actually new attacks, that appear in Phase 2. Well, 3, but point being, if you know Phase 1 really well, you just need a few minor adjustments to dodge the beams and account for the clones. Once you do that, the fight really just becomes learn those 3 other attacks, which, thankfully, 2 of them are super fucking easy. First one, of course, is the thing that he probably opened up the fight with, which is the big nuke. You get the spell later on. It's called Light of Mikola. Very fun to use as a player. Now, that, it's pretty simple. Just the moment you see him start rising, you need to sprint. You need to sprint now, pick a direction, and stick with it the whole way through. I personally, because I play this fight locked on like I do most of my fights, I would recommend either running forward or backwards, but probably backwards. Forward does have the advantage that you will likely end up right on top of him when he starts coming down, and there's a bit of a damage window there. You just need to make sure that you unlock your camera properly so that you don't fiddle with your direction, because the timing of the explosion is basically assuming you are sprinting in one direction without hesitation. Pretty simple all in all. You see it, just run. The other big attack that's very easy to dodge is when he does his big I don't even know what to call this thing. What does a wiki call it? Okay. The wiki calls it something that's so much more metal than I ever would have thought it would be called, but Mikola's Return. So, yeah, pretty cool. But it's the attack from his original boss fight in the base game. He comes out of the sky, big bang boom, with a few clone drone danger zones to make it extra flashy. Again, very easy. Ideally, you want to be in the middle of the arena when this happens, but if you imagine the entrance and the Divine Gate being the back and front of the arena, respectively, you need to be going side to side. So, on either side of the arena, whichever one you're closest to, run to the other one. And as long as you just keep sprinting in that direction, you will just naturally dodge it, as the aiming that Radon has on this attack is pretty poor, so you can sprint past it, and you turn out just fine. The other attack, and this one is actually the one that's most capable of causing some serious problems. It's a completely new combo, complete with beams of light, And naturally, because it is Radon, he hits like a fucking freight train. So you don't really want to be getting hit by any of these. Now, before we get into like the specifics of that one, I do want to put a general note here. As far as tanking him, you have two options to like massively reduce what's about to happen, right? So, physical damage, you have the Great Shield Talisman, little video of where that is right now. You also have the Golden Braid. So both of those are buffing your defenses, but they buff them in different ways. The Great Shield is for your physical damage, and the Braid is for holy damage. So naturally, the things that are his swords, that's dealing physical. The Beams of Light are dealing holy. If you think you have enough room in your talisman slots to use either one of those, I'd consider them, depending on which part of his attacks you're struggling with the most. Overall, if you are doing a heavy attack build, I would recommend going Charge Axe Talisman, the Twin Turtle Talisman, Great Shield, Gold Braid. That gives you a nice benefit of the Charge Talisman giving you more damage, but more importantly, the Turtle Talisman is a fan favorite of mine. It buffs your stamina regen, and I'm sure you've noticed your stamina doesn't get many opportunities to regenerate in this fight, so maintaining your economy on that is very important, and having a talisman that massively improves how fast you regenerate really helps with just what your options are at any given moment. I wish I had some kind of special advice as far as the attack itself, but unfortunately it is just kind of a get good. The timing is very specific. You got the timing, you dodge it, you don't, you die. That's how it goes. I will say that it does include the beams rather prominently, and as with all of the beam attacks, you want to be dodging inwards, and that's why I go back to saying that you should be practicing in phase 1. Just practice dodging inwards with all of those attacks. It really helps out because there's a little gap between the beams and Radon after he swings, and you can position yourself right there. So the beams are basically nullified. It's just visual clutter that doesn't actually impact the fight. As for the clones, like I said, the number of them on each attack always remains the same. Now, they can still physically damage you, so it is worth like dodging them, but you need to make sure that your dodges are timed properly so that you can do one for the actual Radon that is coming to whoop your ass. But like I said, since they're all the same, it's just a matter of timing your dodge for the first one, and as long as you did that, you can pretty much just roll spam through it, and if you timed it correctly, you'll just naturally dodge actual Radon as well. Very important, because yeah, those can easily mess you up, because again, the clones can damage you, so they can stun you, and with the speed that these guys usually come out, that almost guarantees that Radon is going to whoop your ass. But massive ramble aside, I hope that the video helps. Yeah, refer back to the timings that are put in the videos. I mean, that's usually how I think of attacks in the midst of them happening, so that's what works for me. I hope it works for you. If you need anything else, or like you have any more questions that I didn't answer here, just let me know, and I am happy to help. I'll let the rest of the fight run, just in case you might be able to derive something out of it. Good luck, man.